Hey y'all, Jeff Nowak here, coming at you with a quick breaking news update this afternoon. And it is not a happy breaking news update. That news is that Sean Payton, Saints head coach, has tested positive for COVID, and he has immediately entered quarantine. He will not be available to coach on Sunday for the Saints' pivotal NFC South rematch with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. For obvious reasons, I do not have to state losing your head coach at any point is not a great thing. Losing your head coach going into such an important matchup is an even greater issue. But obviously, there are health issues that come first and foremost here. Sean Payton, 57 years old. This is the second time that he has tested positive for COVID. The first case came early in the pandemic. It was during the 2020 preseason. It was one of the earliest documented cases around the NFL. Saints owner Gail Benson also tested positive later that offseason. Both are now fully vaccinated. And the question is, how do you get back to the field? How long does it take? It's kind of a weird situation because Sean Payton did miss practice earlier in the week with an illness. The team said it was not COVID related because he didn't test positive. He came back to practice on Thursday, and now this positive test has come out on Friday. So he will be out 10 days along with, whatever other protocols he needs to pass to get back to the field. The team indicated they would like to see him back, hopefully by the Week 16 matchup with the Dolphins at the Superdome. But you never know. It's difficult. As we saw with Cam Jordan last week with Mark Ingram, Ty Montgomery, stringing those negative tests together is not as easy as it sounds. Cam Jordan got back to practice on Thursday. We still don't have Mark Ingram or Ty Montgomery. And so the Saints are having to deal with another COVID coach outbreak. You had one in week 2 against the Panthers. 7 assistant coaches were not able to be available for that game. And now the Saints have to deal with it again at the top level. Obviously, you have to wait and see. Hopefully, there are no other positive tests. His return to practice on Thursday is a bit of a cause for concern because it was just an opportunity to potentially spread that around the coaching staff. Things could get ugly. For now, we're looking at a situation where Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator, will take over the head coaching duties for the rest of the weekend throughout the game. It's an interesting decision because Ryan Nielsen is the assistant head coach, the defensive line coach. But it will be Dennis Allen, a guy who the Saints have supreme confidence in, a very good coach, a very, very respected coach, taking over the head coaching duties. But what will that mean for the offense? But Pete Carmichael is the offensive coordinator, and he will most likely be the person tasked with calling those plays. It's not the end of the world based on what we know. If you remember back in 2011, Sean Payton had a broken leg. Pete Carmichael had to take over play calling duties for a game against the Colts. Well, all the Saints did in that game was outscore the Colts 62-7. One of the more insane scores you'll ever see. And I think the Saints are confident in what he can do as the play caller. What I will say for this week, compared to week 2, is one of the bigger issues in week 2 was losing all of those assistant coaches throughout the week heading into the game. Really impacted the Saints' ability to prep for what was always going to be a difficult matchup in Carolina. You saw that kind of play out on the field. They didn't look ready. This week, it's less about the prep. You were able to get a good week of prep in. You know the plan, the game plan is established, and it'll be about execution. And, obviously you never want to lose a head coach at any point throughout the course of the season, but I think the Saints are in a decent position to overcome it, assuming there are not another run of positive tests later in the week. Later in the week, it's already Friday, but, tomorrow, really. And hopefully, the hope is on my end that the Saints were adhering to the protocol set forth by the NFL, wearing masks, being smart about how they interact around the facility, knowing that COVID is on the rise again throughout the NFL. Saints are not the only team. Honestly, the Saints are still in better shape than a lot of other teams who are missing key players. Washington won't have Taylor Heineke. The Browns won't have Baker Mayfield. Odell Beckham Jr., a ton of star caliber players, a ton of key players are out this week across the NFL. Just dozens of cases, dozens of people landing on the COVID list. The Saints are actually getting players back. So hopefully this is a one-off and the Saints can at least get into Sunday without any further issues. But yet again, it seems like every week there is a unique, different, strange issue affecting the Saints, and week 15 is no exception. The only thing I will say, going into a matchup against a heavily favored Bucs team, the Saints have been very good in Florida. The last 2 trips They've gone there. They have won 38-3. That was last year against the Bucs at Raymond James Stadium, and earlier this season in Week 1 against the Packers, they also won 38-3. So hopefully, while Sean Payton is on the mend, is trying to get over this latest bout with COVID, the Saints can continue their dominance of the Sunshine State. But that's it for me. Again, my name is Jeff Nowak, WWL digital sports producer. You can follow me on Twitter at Jeff_Nowak. Make sure to keep up to date by checking in WWL AM 870 FM 105.3 Sports Talk 4 to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. And we'll be back at it on Sunday for the game. That's 7:20 p.m. on NBC. You can follow along on the call with Mike Haas and Deuce McAllister. Saints pregame show starts about 2 hours prior. And we'll do a pregame live chat with Deuce McAllister's ingredients to Saints success and yours truly ahead of the game. Make sure to tune in for both of those, and we'll see what happens. Thanks, y'all. Peace.